Terrifier 3 was so insane that somebody called 911 during my screening.
911, what's your emergency?
I just witnessed an entire family get brutally massacred in the worst possible way I've ever seen.
Are you in any immediate danger, sir?
No, I'm watching Terrifier 3.
Excuse me?
Sorry?
What is Terrifier?
It's a movie. I don't know if I'm okay with this, and I don't think people should be clapping.
Sir, you are wasting taxpayer dollars right now.
Oh.
Do you understand that?
Okay,
Sir, never call us again.
Okay, sorry.
After the tremendous success of Terrifier 2, Terrifier 3 had even bigger clown shoes to fill. So how does Terrifier 3 compare to the other Terrifier films? Well, today I'm going to do a ranking of all 4 Art the Clown films, and warning ahead of time, there will be spoilers. So let's get started. Coming in at number 4, we have All Hallows Eve. This came out in 2013, and this is basically a compilation of 3 short stories, all directed by Damien Leone. And the premise of this one is a babysitter finds a VHS tape with all 3 of these short films starring this maniac Art the Clown, until Art the Clown finds his way through the screen to her real world. And I don't think this film is bad, it is just very low budget, and you could tell they had to get creative of how to spin this as a full-length feature film, because all 3 of these shorts were actually filmed at 3 different time periods, and one of the shorts were made in 2008, so you could definitely feel and see the datedness in the quality of the film, and it does kind of take you out of it. Art the Clown kind of looks different in all of them as well, but I think Art the Clown is the most sinister in this movie, and there's a genuinely terrifying scene at the end of the movie where Art the Clown is kind of making his way to the front of your screen. Yeah, I think this is like top 3 Art the Clown scenes in terms of scare factor. And it's interesting going back to these movies and seeing little foreshadows of Art's personality, and we also get a little idea of Damien Leone's vision of the supernatural that we'll discuss a little bit later in his later installments. And at number 3 we have Terrifier. This is the movie that made me fall in love with Art the Clown. I discovered this movie before Art the Clown was cool, and I feel like a proud supporter to finally see the world accept Art the Clown, because this movie is pretty damn good for its budget. David Howard Thornton is tremendous in this movie. I have a huge phobia of clowns, and the first time I saw that image of Art the Clown, I was mortified. And he is definitely creepy as hell in this movie. When you watch it, and much like the other 2 films, he has a certain charm and charisma and character to him where you almost just laugh every time he's on screen, because he is so ridiculous and so animated with his facial expressions, and you kind of forget how evil this clown is. And every scene he is in, he brings something new to it, and he doesn't talk, so he solely relies on his face. And when he switches from laughing to sinister, man, you feel it. The other thing I love about Terrifier 1, it totally flips the script of horror tropes. The first being Art the Clown, he uses a gun in this. When you think his garbage bag of tricks is empty, he pulls out a Glock out of nowhere and shoots the main protagonist in this movie. And yeah, it's a really well done, contained movie where we have absolutely no answers for who this masked character is and why he is just massacring people for seemingly no reason other than you were unlucky enough to cross paths with him. And the hacksaw scene in this movie is up there in terms of kills. I know later on it gets out of control, but this one is effective. And again, for the low budget and for first time appearance in film, Damien Leone leaves his mark, and he lets the audience know that he has no constraints whatsoever, and you gotta respect that. And at number 2, we have Terrifier 3. Yeah, this was close. Terrifier 3 does outshine the second one in terms of pacing, acting, overall kills, and I think Art the Clown is at his very best in this movie. He is absolutely on demon time in this one, no pun intended. He's killing kids, he's blowing up kids, he's leaving no butthole unharmed, and the look and feel of this film, I think, is definitely the best one out of the entire trilogy, but I think it lacks a little bit in story. And by that I mean, I think overall this movie feels like a setup for the fourth film, because the last third of the film kind of hits you right away. You almost don't believe Art the Clown and Vicky are in Sienna's house, but then you quickly realize, yeah, this is really happening. We are at the very end of the movie. We do have a great battle between these characters. You care for her little cousin, who ultimately falls into this pit of hell, and we learn that Jonathan was killed off screen? And in this same time, we learn that Vicky is possessed by this greater demon. It almost feels like this Vicky character overshadows Art the Clown a little bit. And let me know if I'm reading into this wrong, but it almost feels like Art the Clown becomes a little bit of a henchman at the end of the movie. And I don't know how I feel about that, because I want Art the Clown to be the central figure in his series. I truly believe that Art the Clown should be in talks as one of the greatest slasher icons of this generation, and should be held up against Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger. But when it's revealed that this demon is kind of infecting others, it kind of loses me in terms of the power and threat of Art the Clown. And I am so curious to see where they go with the fourth movie, as I may be reading into this all wrong. I think this movie's gonna dive into some kind of underworld hell setting in the next one, and I think Sienna is gonna go to basically hell to save her cousin's soul, as well as Jonathan's. And that feels like this movie is diving so much into fantasy that I just don't know how to register if I love that. But you could tell that Damien Leone has a vision. You could tell he's left clues that we are gonna enter the supernatural realm with this series. And I do think the next logical step to keep this franchise fresh is to start diving into that supernatural aspect and give us some clear answers. And I really do hope the execution of some of these lingering questions do live up to the hype and the buildup, which leads us to our number one, Terrifier 2. This one is a complete step up over the first one. We have characters that we actually like and root for. Sienna and Jonathan are great leads, and I think just the total impact of Terrifier 2 and what it did for this franchise is what really put this series on the map and basically gave way for Terrifier 3 to shine and prosper. And I still do think the bedroom scene in Terrifier 2 is the number one kill, and I'll tell you why. It definitely stands out as the most elongated and brutal kill in the movie. When Art the Clown comes back with that salt in the wounds, literally, I felt that. And then when you realize that when the mom comes home later and you find Art the Clown is still peeling away at this girl's skin, and she's still alive at the end of it. He is killing her as slow and painful as humanly possible, and that is just twisted. But yeah, that's my ranking. I'm just so happy to see this franchise prospering and people paying attention to independent filmmakers. So do you agree with my ranking? Let me know in the comments below, what's your favorite Terrifier movie, and have you seen Terrifier 3 yet? If you like seeing me on the thick, wide screen, let me know. Did you like this video? And if you didn't, well, I could take criticism. Check out my other socials. On TikTok, Instagram, I'm posting daily over there, and I am hoping to transition to the widescreen a lot more often for you guys. My name is Thicc Films, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.